Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mac here from Cryptstar Staking, your #1 validator on the Aleph Zero blockchain and your #1 source for DeFi crypto news on the tube. So yes, today we are going to do another video on Aleph Zero. I've had many people, at least 15 people asking me, why Mac, why are you so focused on Aleph Zero? In today's video, I'm going to be covering the sort of 3 pillars as to why I think Aleph Zero is going to be the next 70 to 100x in the next crypto bull run. That means from the price today of $1.40, it's probably going to go up to $20, $50, $70, or even beyond. If it goes up to, Solana's all-time high as well, we could be seeing $150 Azero in the future. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm all focused on the money. I just really like the tech. I'm a tech nerd. I work as a techie. I don't quite understand all of the mathematical aspects of Aleph Zero, so I try not to dive into that. I try to focus on sort of the everyday aspects that you guys, as the other users of Aleph Zero or blockchain tech, can also relate with. Okay, so I'm not going to dive too deep into the super technical aspects. I just want to make sure that you guys know what is going on, the very basics and the fundamentals of why I think the Aleph Zero is going to do very well in the future. Before we get started, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button below, and we'll go ahead and jump right into today's video. Here we go. So because we're starting from the fundamentals, I do want to talk about the different white papers that Aleph Zero has presented, the team has presented to us. And this is kind of, for me, this is the base of the whole Aleph Zero blockchain, right? This shows exactly what they're going to be about, what they're going to be focused on. And you can see here from the different white papers that they have a focus on business, they have a focus on decentralization, and they have a focus on, on new technology here. And then they also have a focus on auditing community and safety for their users. Okay, so all four of these things are very important for blockchain. And on top of that, you can go ahead and jump in their Discord and see their team. You can go to the about section on their website and see that they have a huge team that are basically focused on these 4 different pillars for the Aleph Zero blockchain. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first pillar, which is the business aspect. Okay, Aleph Zero, the business aspect, they are a DAG protocol, which is a direct acyclic graph. So it's kind of hard to pronounce acyclic, but yeah, it basically is a faster consensus mechanism to the blockchain. It orders transactions only when they're needed, which improves the efficiency of the system. So that's the basic difference between a DAG and a blockchain. They're relatively similar. They're both decentralized ledgers, okay? So I think in the future, DAG is going to be the future. I think blockchain is very interesting, but I think that DAG is the only way you can actually get the speed that you want is by using a DAG or by putting layer 2s onto the blockchain. And we're just gonna jump down here. I like to show a little visual representation so you guys don't have to go through all these notes. I'll just kind of show you guys what's going on. Where is it at? All right, so here we have the visual representation here of what Aleph Zero is planning to create. So basically, they're going to have this Aleph Zero layer 1, and this is going to be the main blockchain. On top of that, they're going to build a layer 2 with private multi-token custody. This is going to be like a hub and spoke model. So if a business wants to build on top of Aleph Zero, they can create a little line here and then create their business. If they're going to create like a chain that's using Aleph Zero for security, they can create a business model over here. And that's kind of what that AWS news was about last week. So anybody building a web dApp or anything like that, they can ask AWS and try and get a grant and then get paid to go ahead and build it on AWS infrastructure over here. Now that's fine to be centralized, okay? That's just going to connect directly here to the Aleph Zero layer 1 or possibly layer 2 as well. Now down here in the layer 2, we have liminal private DeFi. This is going to be a private DeFi, so you can do all of your degen stuff here and not have to worry about other people spying on your wallet. And this is really great as well for organizations who have privacy concerns, especially if they're dealing with customer funds. They don't want their customers to be, doxxed. And they themselves don't want to be doxxed just because there is a lot of reasons you don't want to have your identity known in public. Okay, and just last week we did get the announcement that they won the Polkadot parachain auction. So they won that with, I think it was $100,000. Pretty cool. So they got the parachain auction up here. Maybe it's $250,000. Can't remember. But anyways, they got the next step here. So that's going to be connecting to Liminal. So the next steps for Aleph Zero, of course, are going to be smart contracts. And then I think right after that is going to be this Liminal private DeFi that should be hopefully being released later this year. And then this should connect directly to BSC, ETH, and other. And this is all the other blockchains, all right? So Solana, other blockchains, okay? This is their business aspect, okay? This is very high level, and it also shows that they have a really, really great care for design. I really like the design and the thought they put into marketing and the cool logos and everything that they use for Aleph Zero. This is very important from a consumer aspect. You want to be part of a community and an ecosystem that looks cool, right? And I think that's something that is not quite... people don't think about that enough when it comes to blockchain. It needs to be something that you can relate with and something that you want to be a part of. And a lot of that comes with the actual physical sort of design of the marketing, right? Another thing I wanted to focus on was their focus on business connections. And back in the past, they did have this business connection here with WW Ventures. They got an investment or a partnership with WW Ventures. And recently, it has come to light that Mr. Beast, of course, is invested in WW Ventures, and he invests in like different projects that WW Ventures invests in. I think they invested in a few of the Solana projects. And if you go ahead and follow Mr. Beast on Twitter, you can see here that he follows Aleph Zero blockchain. So recently, I think someone in the community went ahead and found this out. You have to scroll all the way to the middle, about the middle of Mr. Beast's followings, and you can see he does follow Aleph Zero here. So that's pretty cool. I think that focus on VCs is actually very important because VCs have the connections. They're the ones who have kind of made it in life. A lot of them have already done a really good job, and they want to help other companies and other projects lift them up and bring them to new highs, right? So that's really positive for Aleph Zero as well. Now, some other things I want to talk about is the sort of trail of bits consensus audit, okay? Oh, so this is right here. So trail of bits, they did the consensus audit, and you can see here, this was basically to fizzle out all of the different weaknesses and stuff inside of the Aleph Zero blockchain. So during the first week of engagement, we focused on gaining an understanding of the code base and reading the documentation and the Aleph Zero paper. We looked for common Rust security flaws and started doing the review of the terminal, reliable multicast, alert components. During the second week, we performed a manual review of other components, focusing on the member consensus. We also checked the data serialization routines and the interfaces exposed by the Aleph BFT library. And you can read through all this if you want to, but I think it's better just to kind of scroll down to the bottom and you can kind of see the detailed fix log. So Aleph Zero did get the trail of bits audit, and then they went ahead and fixed all the issues here. So you can see they fixed the code documentation that does not reference in the paper. The code is now commented with references to the Aleph Zero paper and the implementation document. Use of two different types to represent rounds. So they fixed all these errors. You guys can read about it. I'm not going to focus on this too much in the video, but you can see that they did focus and fix all of these errors that the audit went ahead and pointed out. Now, another thing that you guys need to know about if you're just jumping into Aleph Zero is that they do have great documentation. And it's really, really easy to go ahead and get an Aleph Zero validator node up and running if you have the Aleph Zero base capital to go ahead and stake. It's also very easy to go ahead and start a pool. All the documentation is very thorough, and I would have to say it was one of the easiest validator nodes I've set up, even if you're going ahead and installing from the very, just from the command line. If you don't decide not to use Docker, just install it from the command line. It's really easy. Setup is a breeze, which I think ease of use is very, very important. And on top of that, Aleph Zero is going to be focusing on using Rust, the Rust programming language. So when smart contracts come out, it'll be very easier for current Rust programmers to go ahead and create new things on Aleph Zero, create dApps on Aleph Zero. And Rust is a very, very common programming language, and it's very, very, it uses the storage very, very efficiently. So that means that it's going to be a very efficient way to go ahead and build smart contracts on Aleph Zero. And that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for viewing. As usual, this is Mac from Cryptstar Staking. We do run a beautiful validator node on the Aleph Zero blockchain, so make sure you guys go ahead and if you want to, go ahead and support the channel by staking to Cryptstar Staking. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great day and peace out, everybody.